Boss Lady Conversations with Monica L.
and Coach Khaya.
Boss ladies are
Vulnerable,
authentic,
love,
hopeful,
abundant.
respected.
Boss ladies are
You.
Welcome back, Boss Lady listeners. I am Monica L., a boss lady, Cleveland-born, LA raised, on a journey of freedom and happiness as an educator, entrepreneur, self-published author, and poet. Let's get it. My IG handle is at MonicaL_writer.
Hey, everybody. I'm your girl, Coach Khaya. I'm a boss wife, mompreneur, sister, writer, and certified transformational coach. I help people access their power by healing the trauma of their past, reigniting their dreams, and manifesting the miracles that matter today. My IG handle is at I am Coach Khaya.
Yes, and shout out to our friends for becoming listeners and supporting our Boss Lady Conversations podcast. We appreciate your support. So please tell someone who will tell someone to join us. This is a movement and there is positive energy here.
Listen, there's been so much light. I think if you listen to the podcast that we've been putting out there, there's not one podcast that you can listen to that you don't walk away with something. There's something for everybody. And that's really what we wanted this experience to be. We want you to take something, incorporate it into your life, and move forward in the best boss lady experience that you can have for yourself.
Yes. That was so well said, Coach Khaya. And you know, Coach Khaya is always open and accepting new clients. So don't be shy. Give her a call or hit her up in that DM. Also, our mission has been to give you a safe space to learn, grow, and contribute. Boss Lady Conversations wants to leave you feeling inspired, imaginative, hopeful, creative, abundance, and of course, bossed up to go after what really matters in this life.
We are so excited about today's topic, manifesting dreams through filmmaking, community service, writing, and travel with the fabulous Mimi. This topic touches me in so many different ways because all of these things are so important to me. I remember I moved out to LA with a one-way ticket, to pursue my dreams in the filmmaking and television industry. And community service has always been in my heart, especially since college. I attended at HBCU, and writing, that's what I do. And so travel is my happy. So all of these things matter to me personally and professionally. So I'm just so excited to talk with Mimi today to hear how she can just help boss ladies incorporate the things that they really love into their everyday lives.
Yes, Coach Khaya, you said that so well. And I feel the same way. I am extremely passionate about our youth. I mean, they are our generation. They are us. We are them. We have a duty to pour back into them, just like the prior generations have poured into us. And I also have a love for television and film, through my docuseries. I always have a plan B. And travel. That's how we talk about on Boss Lady Conversations is travel, whether it be you physically going somewhere or you just going somewhere in your mind. Travel is so important for our mental, physical health and well-being. So let's get into it.
Yes, and there is so much that we can tell you about our amazing guest today. And we'll just start by saying that she is a passionate filmmaker. She's a world-class traveler. She's a writer, and she's an entrepreneur. She is known for her work on I Am Sorry, Dahlia, 2017, Red Handed, 2018, and the Boneyard Collection, 2008. And that's just a small piece of what she's done. And she's going to tell you so much more today. It is my pleasure and honor for us to give Mimi a boss lady welcome today.
Yes. Hey, Mimi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
We are great. Good. Thank you so much for joining us.
I just want to make a correction on the Bone Collection. I was just an actor on that. So
it's all good. It's all good. You're a part of it. Yes.
So we're beyond happy to have you with us today. Can you tell us a little bit about your boss lady journey?
Well, first off, I'm just going to say my boss journey has been meditation place of peace in my mind, because anytime when you can control your mind and control your thoughts about doing the right things, then I feel like I'm a boss, because that means that I'm a boss over myself, not necessarily over people. And I know people get excited about being in positions and leading people in the right direction. But I think the most important thing is like learning how to lead yourself. And so my boss journey this past few months has been, I would say, resilient for me, because of the fact that I'm taking control of my life and choosing to stay in this place of purity as far as my mental health, because, I had been dealing with depression for last year. When the pandemic hit, it's just like it took over. And so I really had to learn how to get myself back, and I had to take ownership and take responsibility of myself and my thoughts. And so, because I can officially say today on your show that I am a boss, because I am taking control of my thoughts and myself and what I believe in.
Whoa. Okay, so that's how we gonna start the show. Got it. I love it. I love it. And that is so important. And we do want to acknowledge that we are in a pandemic, a global pandemic, and it has impacted all of us in various ways. And so I like that you came out very authentic in sharing that. And we're glad that also you're on the other side. And again, controlling your thoughts and not allowing others control it. Because we talked about happiness in our prior episode, and we said that happiness really comes from within, not external. So you just touched upon that and brought it all home. So thank you again. And we're so happy to have you. So as a filmmaker, writer, world-class traveler, and entrepreneur, what inspired you to embark on these careers?
I probably will start off with my mom. My mom used to take pictures when I was little. So like maybe 3 or 4, she's always had the camera out, and I always just take pictures. So I have like a lot of Polaroid pictures and pictures that I had to develop later down the line, because she had just a lot of pictures, but I always saw a camera in her hand. And I believe that's where the spark of the film part of it, being interested in it. And then when I was younger, I started taking a lot of pictures as well, because I saw my mom do it, so I did it as well. So I remember when she bought me my first camera, and I would just take pictures of friends and people, and just in general, just take pictures. And then I started watching Soul Train. Yeah. And Soul Train was, I would say, the light. Soul Train, and this might be telling my age, but Star Search. Those 2 shows were something that intrigued me as a kid. And it was like, oh, I want to dance. Now, I could not dance, but I used to watch Soul Train so much that I was determined to learn how to dance. And people would say, you have no rhythm whatsoever. But later down the line, I started getting some rhythm. So it was like, thank you to Soul Train. And I ended up later becoming a Soul Train dancer, which was really cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's when Shamara Moore was a host. So yeah. So that's part of like what kind of like got me going. And then I used to do talent shows when I was in school with my friends. We would create groups, and we would compete in like the talent shows and the competitions. And I believe my filming, the filming aspects of it, started when I was in high school. I took a position that I didn't really want to take, but my teacher was like, oh, I think you should do the editing part of it. And I had no clue what to do. And so I was in a room editing the news after him showing me what to do. And I took a liking to it. And then I was on the yearbook committee. So not really knowing that I was going to go into this direction, I just was like, I guess like feeding my soul. I was just doing different things, getting introduced to editing, taking pictures, performing in front of an audience. And that just kind of sparked me where I would be in my room. Now, this is interesting. I would be in my room and I would write songs and bang on the piano as if I knew how to play, and record on the karaoke machine, because of the fact that I just wanted to, I wanted to write. I wanted to sing. I don't know if I actually thought that I really wanted to be a singer, but I think I just love the aspect of performing. And so, I mean, I still have these tapes. It's so crazy when I listen to them. And I wrote songs and stuff like that. And then it just kind of led to people saying, hey, I have a track, like in high school. Can you write to this or can you sing to this? And so I did music when I was younger, and I kind of tried out jazz, and then I did rock music, and then I did like hip hop. I was just trying to find my way. Like, who am I in this industry? I really didn't know who I was, but I knew one thing that I was always doing when I look back. Like 2 years ago, me and my husband was pulling out stuff, and he's like, I had massive stuff on the floor. And he's like, you got all these pictures, these videos and things that you've completed and done. And it's like, why are you not? And I'm like, fear, or still feeling like you're not there quite yet. So, yeah. So I now feel like I'm having a better sense of who I am. And I know that that's a filmmaker, a producer, and a creator, because I like to create things. And so I think over the years, I didn't know that that's what I was already doing. I was producing stuff. I was producing stuff for myself. And so now I realize that, and I accept that, because I think sometimes you can be in a place where you don't accept the gift that you have and what you have accomplished. You feel like you have to meet a certain criteria, or you have to accomplish certain merits in order to say that you are something. And I just accepted to say, you know what? You are a creator. You are a filmmaker. You do not need to have anybody's permission to say that you're not this. And so that was the first release, was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, release of me actually walking into, I would say, who I am as a filmmaker.
Mimi, that's so powerful. It's so much of what I heard you say was, you've done a lot of manifesting. Like, you were watching Soul Train, and then you were on Soul Train.
Yeah.
You were playing music in your house, and then you were singing on a track. I mean, it feels like you knew a lot about manifesting naturally before it became, mainstream or a thing, right? So what is that that's in you that allowed you to do that naturally?
The manifesting part?
Yeah.
Well, I can say, when you're raised in a household with a grandmother that is a strong believer of God, and taking you to church every day and teaching you the word, and you go into Bible study and you learning about faith, and you learn about how God is creating things and doing things that people can't even imagine or believe. Like when you hear the stories of when Jesus would try to make people believe something, and they just couldn't believe it. And then he would show them. And it's like, it's in front of you, like why you can't believe it or see it even when he's showing it to you. Is like that part of it, the faith building me to manifest. Like I can't see God, but I believe in God, because I know the miracle that what he has given to me. And that's one is life, because when I was 11 years old, I was diagnosed with cancer and had teratoma cancer. And during that time, I remember they didn't even have a cure during that time. And I remember as a kid just thinking that I'm going to overcome this. I am not going to be sick anymore. And I remember being in a hospital for months, just smiling every day and just believing that I was going to get better. And I remember one day, they said I was on my deathbed. I remember one day they did the Make-A-Wish Foundation and asked where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. And I remember the first thing I said I wanted to do, I said I wanted to meet Janet Jackson. And so I remember she had a concert, but I was too sick to go. But the nurses said that she actually called. I don't remember any of this because of the fact that, when you on medication, you're drowsy, you don't remember anything. But they said that she called and I spoke to her, and that was it. That's all I remember. And I remember the next thing I said Disneyland. So I went to Disneyland. So this is supposed to be like, I guess, celebrating my going to heaven. But when we came back, we did some, I guess, more x-rays and MRIs. And they found out that it was something that looked like it was cancerous that wasn't cancerous anymore. And I've been cancer-free ever since. So that within itself was the first beginning of me manifesting something as a kid, as knowing that I'm going to be okay. I'm going to live. I'm going to survive. And I remember as a kid feeling not confused, but I remember like in certain subjects, I felt like I struggled with. And I remember just believing that I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna get through this. And I remember God giving like tools for me to be able to accomplish those goals and those steps to just like pass a test and to understand it. I kept believing that I was going to finish school. I was going to go to college. Like I kept believing it. I kept seeing myself in a better place. Even when I didn't even live in LA, I dreamt of myself being here in LA doing, I don't know, I didn't know exactly what, but I knew I was going to just be in front of the TV. I was going to do stuff. I believed it. I just believed it. Even though my parents did not have the funds to be able to provide things for me. Most kids that have a gift, have a talent, their parents are capable of doing that. My mom didn't have the resources to be like, oh, well, let me take her out and let me put her in this acting school, any of that. She didn't really know that. She said that she knew that if it was something that I wanted to do, she knew that I would do it later in life. And it's funny, I did, because I always wanted to go to Barbizon school. And I went to Barbizon school like in college. And people thought I was crazy. And I was like, no, this is something I want to do. And I paid money my own self to go to Barbizon school. So Barbizon school actually gave me the confidence and gave me the tools to be able to know like what scammers are when you're going to auditions and how to present yourself. And then that actually led me to coming to LA, getting into print work at the time and doing background work at the time. So I know that's a lot, but yeah.
I love it. Clearly, you are meant to be here and you are a blessing. I mean, you're a blessing to the world. I just heard so much. So
I
we are
know. That's why I was
thankful.
like,
But no, this is good. Like people have stories, and Coach Khaya and I want our listeners to know that we are real people with real life stories from humble beginnings. And there is a way, because I think so many times we get caught up in social media where everything looks so glitz and glamorous. And then we have this comparison and we're like, no, we are real people with real stories. And what I heard was you're a fighter and you're like, I am here. I have a purpose.
I feel
And
like I'm the poster child of determination.
absolutely. I agree.
Sorry to cut you off, but yeah.
No. So where are you from?
I was born in LA, but raised in Fresno. And so that's where my roots come from, Fresno, California.
Okay. And for those who don't know, so Barbizon, and correct me if I'm wrong, is a beauty college. So they teach you.
It's a modeling, modeling, talent, acting, college, or college, or I don't know what minute workshop. I don't know what
right
training,
program,
program. There you go, program.
Yeah, I love that, and I mean, we have so many similarities. We definitely have to talk offline because songwriting, all of those. But you just feel like, that you prior life probably was more of a Harlem Renaissance because it's not like you do it all.
And I think that's probably the reason why it's taking me so long to get into what I want to do as far as film, because it was like, well, I love taking pictures, So remember going to school, taking photography, and doing that. It was just overall like, I have so much stuff to do that I like to do, and I don't. It was just a little confusing. Some people were like, no, I want to sing. I know exactly. I want to sing. They got it. For me, it was like, I kind of like a little bit of everything. So, yeah.
And that's okay. And that actually leads into our next question. And so where do you see yourself at in 5 years?
I want to be able to produce a few documentaries. Hopefully the documentary that I am working on now will be out by then. One about depression and one about my family. My dad comes from 11 kids in the household. And so my dad was the youngest, but my grandmother gave one of her children away to her best friend and best cousin. And so it just, my grandmother's love, how much she has so much love that she gave one of her child, her kids to someone that she cares about. And so doing a documentary about about my grandmother, her love and the things and what she's done. And yeah, so I'm hoping, to have that done in 5 years. In 5 years, where I would like to be is be on Sesame Street as a guest appearance, have either co-produce, have some type of impact on Nickelodeon. And then I would love to have some type of deals with, I say deals, not just one deal, but deals with Netflix as far as dealing with my character that will be coming out with the new book, and as well as like having my documentary on Netflix, but as well on the documentary channel and HBO. That's dealing with the entertainment part. And then the other part of it is I want to be able to make reading cool for kids around the world and have some type of program where kids that feel ashamed of reading, that they can go to and they actually can get help and get skills. And this could be something that could be virtual, and that's something that will not cost them anything. So that's something that I would like to see.
That's powerful. I just get chills, and I could so see you on Sesame Street, just bringing so much joy and light to everyone. I love that. And I love that your goals are so clear and that you're very thoughtful about them. Like you can tell that you're putting some energy behind them. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to ask you, we've been hearing you say really nice things about your husband and your partnership.
Oh, yeah.
And we're always telling boss ladies that it matters who you partner up with. It matters who's in your inner circle. So tell us a little bit about your love story and how your love story has inspired a lot of your goals and the things that you really care about in your life.
Well, I can say that I manifested him too. I did a video and I recorded myself saying all the things that what I want in a relationship. And I was very clear as far as not speaking about what I want him to have or how he looks, as far as how I wanted to be treated, as far as what we can accomplish together. And so those things manifest. He's a family man. He's patient. He's kind. The one thing I didn't request was somebody to be like in the comedy world, but it's so funny that I was like, how did I said no comedy, but comedy person that I didn't never want to be with a comedian, but because he's not like that at home, he's not like trying to be funny all the time at home. It's just when he like maybe get around people and stuff like that. But otherwise, he's like pretty chill guy. He's supportive. And that is one thing that I love about him, is that he supports me 100%. Like if I say I'm gonna sell water from the faucet, he'd be like, all right, let's do it. Like he supports me, and he always has thought, he always gives me good advice. And I'm pretty lucky, I can say that, when it comes to being in a relationship with him, because of the fact that we complement each other. Like there's things that I help him with as far as growth, and there's things that he helps me with growth. One of the things that he really didn't like I remember in the beginning of our relationship, in the middle of our relationship, I would say, was that like my self-confidence, like because I had kind of lost my self-confidence, and he spoke so highly of me, and I just couldn't see myself. Like, why do you say this? And he's like, because you are this, and it just took a while for me to actually receive it. And I think I know when you're not familiar with that type of love and shine and respect from a partner, it's like you don't know how to receive it. And so I had to learn how to receive it rather than reject it, because I didn't want to be in a place of where he stops, because I don't know how to receive the compliments, or I don't know how to receive how he sees me, because so much of hurt and from past relationships have allowed me to sometimes be guarded. And so he kind of opened that door as far as allowing me to accept what is real and what is true. Yeah. But we do a lot of things together. We go to the park, we talk a lot, even though he doesn't like to talk most of the time because he'd be like, oh my God, he says I'm a talker, but but he listens, and that's a good thing.
I love it. I mean, thank you so much for sharing your full life. And again, as boss ladies, we have a full life. It's not just about work. It's not just about our passion. It's not just about us, but like you, Coach Khaya said, it's about everyone who's a part of our circle. And you want
Right.
people that pour into you and support you. And it's like you already pretty much answered the question I was going to ask, but I'll still state it.
Oh, go ahead.
So what advice would you have given yourself 10 years ago, knowing what you know now about the industry, love, life, manifestation? What would you have told yourself?
Ooh, I would have told myself, be brave and accept who you are. And as long as you are only competing with yourself, you have nothing to lose. The worst thing that can happen is it don't work out and somebody says no to you, but there's always tomorrow and you keep pushing on. So that's what I would say to myself is be brave and don't listen to the noise, because I got stuck in a place of listening to the noise that allowed me to start one thing and then stop one thing and then start another thing and then start one thing. It's like, that's why it's like, there's so much of me. Like, when I think about it, it's like, wow, I had 2 children albums that was doing like well on online Walmart stores and also selling at venues. So I was performing all over in LA. I could have been like the next Hip Hop Harry or Mr. Rogers, but I just got discouraged because I didn't look like the next person that was in line that was actually doing that. So I didn't fit that description, when I would meet with people. And I should have just been like, no, I should have just been like Kanye, be like, nope, nope. They, no matter what, I'm going in, I'm gonna get this. They're gonna believe in me. I didn't have that. But that's what I would say to myself is be brave and go for it.
That's so powerful, Mimi. I think that really speaks to the spirit. And sometimes we have to go through things because you're going to be on Sesame Street and sharing your children's programs all over the world. And you're going to have that wisdom to share with so many young people and helping them to know that. And had you not gone through that, then your story might have sounded a little different. So It's actually always perfect.
And the interesting thing about it is that when I look at the footage that I have, there's decades of me phasing into this arena of children, because I've worked with kids for years and years. And I have videos of kids that are now like probably have kids now, it's like, oh my goodness. But I'm like, dang, I've been following this stream for a minute, but putting it on pause for a minute, coming back. They say you can never run away from what your true passion is. And I feel like that's what God is like with the children book. It's like children. It's working with kids. It's coming back just in a different form. And it's just like, wow, like God is like, letting me know that you have not been forgotten. It has not been taken. What is for you is for you. So just go out there and manifest this, baby girl. Just go do it, because I'm going to be with you and I'm going to provide and give you everything that what you need. And if you don't know it, I'll bring somebody that do know it.
So amazing. Can you tell us which boss ladies out there inspire you to kind of go after your highest dreams? And I know you've talked about your grandmother. And so just tell us like which boss ladies inspire you to go after it?
Well, okay, I have 2 people. Don't want to cry, but I have 2 people right now. Okay, so one of the people that is my best friend, Tiana. Just her determination as far as how we met was in a Spanish class at Valley College. And I remember her saying that she wants to be a lawyer. And I remember we were just both trying to get through this Spanish class. I remember we was like encouraging each other, and we're like, okay, we're going to get there. We're going to do this. And so we just got through one class to another class. So she finally graduated, went to Valley College, then got accepted to Dominguez, and then went to Dominguez and got into the law program. But then she moved to Alabama or Oklahoma. I think it was Oklahoma. She moved to Oklahoma and started working with kids, but she was actually still like trying to get into the in law school. And so she just finally got accepted. Now she's going to Vegas University for law school. And so her determination and knowing what the struggles what she had to go through in order to get there is so inspiring to me, because someone that had a dream and a goal, and for you to witness these steps of her getting there. And eventually she will be teaching law. Like, her goal is to be a judge, and she will be teaching law, and she's going to be amazing when she starts. That's one of the people that I look up to. The other person is my friend Shoniqua Shandai. She's on that new show, Queens, and one of the main characters. And I've been knowing her since the beginning of when she didn't have an agent, when she didn't have a manager, when she, was living in her apartment, living with her mom, and they was like really grinding out here in LA and just trying to get seen. And I remember walking in her apartment, seeing like manifestations all over the walls, in the front room, all over. And I remember one summer she said, any project that I feel that I can do or that's worthy on LA Casting, I'm gonna submit and I'm gonna do. And I remember I don't care if I'm not getting paid for it. She just started going out there and grinding. Eventually, like, the door started opening for her to get an opportunity to go to a workshop, to present herself, perform in front of casting directors. And then it just went from, oh, she got an agent, now she got a manager, to finally like getting her first featured on the YouTube film with Charlemagne and produced by Eminem and Charlemagne, so it was just like to see all these things happen, and then finally like get a role where she doesn't have to change who she is, and that she is looked at beautiful because she's a beautiful person just naturally, but for the world to see it. Seeing her get to a place of accomplishing the one thing that what she wanted to do was to first get paid as an actress. That was one of the goals, and be accepted, and not feel like you have to change because this is what they want you to be. But it's awesome that she's actually playing a role that she loves, and people are now seeing this beautiful soul, and I'm just happy for her. So to be able to see her, what she's accomplishing now, and it's just getting started, but she inspires me because I know the drive, I know the focus, that what she does behind closed doors. I know that. And most people think like, oh, you're just getting it because of who you know or what you do. No, you have to really work hard for things that what you really want in life. And so sometimes things are easy for people, but even if it's given to you, you still got to work hard to keep it.
Yes, and that is the truth. You can get in that door, but you got to stay in that.
It's like, what you gonna do with it?
Exactly.
Like I remember one time, because I used to work for Will and Jada, and I used to work at the school. And I remember one time I asked Will, and I was like, what is the advice you can give me? And he always told me, he said, don't ask anybody anything unless you're ready. Because he says you only got one chance. And he says, when someone asks you and you're saying like, oh, I'm a singer, and then they ask you to sing, and then you're like, that's it. No more chances. Or if you're an actor, like, you need to have your headshots ready to hand over, like if you have a business ideal, you need to have stuff like ready, because you will miss the opportunity. People will remember you. When you ask that question for help, they will remember. So be ready.
That's a great piece of advice. I wish I would have known that about 20 years ago. But anyway, yes, be very clear what you want and be ready to receive it. You speak a lot about children, and you also mentioned school settings. And I know, since we have a, somewhat personal relationship, I know about the community service. Mm-hmm. So let's touch upon that so our Boss Lady listeners can see where that passion comes for the children and your experiences, and also some of the work you're doing with the community and our girls right now.
All right. Well, the passion was from a lady named Denise Jones. And I used to sit on the bus stop, and I remember she drove up in her little blue bug and asked if we wanted to be a part of her Yamoja dance team. And I remember joining this dance team. She was a Delta, and she introduced the world of community service to us. So we would raise money for either things that we were doing, like as far as like competitions, or either for the homeless. We was always doing things with her. So she kind of introduced that part of like giving back. And I remember just wanting to continue that. Like always, I'm a type of person that I want to see good, and I want to see things better. And sometimes you can talk about it, but it's always better to try to do something about it, even if it's small things. So as far as me being involved with like Made in Her Images organization for the youth that teaches them with how to use film equipment and just introduce them to like what is the world of an entertainer, like what is the world of cameras, what is the world of the eye of a director or photographer, teaching them like what does a PA do, like what does a gaffer do, being able to expose them to different positions in the film industry, because most kids, especially probably in the urban community or low poverty area, they probably wouldn't have experience as far as like knowing what to do behind the scenes or in front of the camera. So it's like you have to be able to expose them so they know like, oh, that's something that I can do, because now they kind of see how it works. They watch a lot of movies and videos, but the question is do they know what it takes to make something? So that one of the organizations that I'm part of is Made in Her Image, and that's what they focus on, is exposing the youth to film in the industry. And you can chop that up however you want to.
And they always talk about exposure being so important, right? Representation matters. And In Her Image really gives people that next level experience. So like they're not coming into this not seeing their faces, not being able to share their stories. Right. I love that so much. Yeah. And that's really important. Yeah. And why do you feel it's so important for boss ladies to tell their stories, whether it's in front of the camera, behind the camera, with the pen in hand?
One of the reasons why I think it's important for boss ladies to be able to tell their story is because there's someone else out there that can relate. And it doesn't have to be a person of a celebrity status. It could be just a person that they don't know of status. And when you know a person, sometimes it's harder for you to like really see or believe or understand or take the respect from them. Like somebody could tell you like, oh, you should do this, but you might not be able to receive it. But somebody else telling the story of their life or what they're going through, because you don't know them, will give you a different perspective of how you see it. And you might be able to receive it either from that person or just by listening from that person. So if our story is not being told, then it's like, how can we be able to allow the youth to evolve or our legacy to be evolved if we don't hear the story? The story is pretty much the only thing that we have to manifest and continue to motivate and allow each people to grow, right? We grow from each other's stories. That's the only way how we grow. If we never heard a person's story, we would all probably be confused and stuck, because we would probably think that we can never do better. When I think about Harriet Tubman, I'm pretty sure she had a story to tell them slaves that was slaves that still thought they were slaves when they actually wasn't slaves. So she had to tell her story. She had to tell other slave stories in order for them to believe and have hope, in order to them to keep walking that path so they would not get shot by her or by anybody else. So if she did not have a story, we would not be free.
That was clear.
And there it is. Because you are so right. I think when you put it into everyday terms, like people need to start putting themselves in those situations. Like, what kind of story must she have had to tell for them to put their lives in danger? She really showed them like, you're already in danger. You will die here. Right. So I'm offering you even a chance at freedom. And she lost not one.
Right.
I'm so glad you said that, Mimi.
Right. Because we cannot forget who we are as people in general. We cannot forget that. And if we are silent and we don't share our stories from small to big, it doesn't matter if we do not share our stories with our kids to let them know, like, hey, I struggled in reading. Hey, I struggled being open with my parents, like I struggled. If you do not share those stories with your children, they will think that they are alone. Most of the time in situations, the kids are trying to figure it out because the parents are not speaking or not talking. They're not telling stories. I'm pretty sure you can relate to like remembering when your grandparents, your great uncles always told the stories and you can remember it like from memory, and everybody in the family can remember it from memory. I don't hear that anymore. We have lost that. We have lost that. We have so many people that are great in our family that we cannot even recognize that, wow, we have accomplished people in our family, but we're so stuck on what the star status is. But we have people in our family. Like my cousin was the first firefighter at Burbank, first Black firefighter at Burbank Fire Department. And now he was a chief. So chief, and I think I forget what's the next step of that, but that's history. If we don't speak that, like we all know in our family, we know if we don't speak it, then who else gonna say it? Who else is going to say it?
No one is.
No one.
Yeah. Like that's history. That's history.
History.
That's history.
When you think about yourself, what is the one thing, Monica, that you know that you have not shared that you should be sharing with your family?
Oh, baby. You'll put me on the spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the one thing that my family doesn't know? They don't know the struggles that I go through daily in my position.
And you should share that.
Right.
You should share that because they probably think that you are this person that have it all together and that you don't need help. But once you share that, then you open the door for their help to help you in times when you need the help. You must share it because then you're teaching other people to fake it in the family.
You're right. You're right. You're right. And that's not good for anyone. Right.
No,
you're right. I appreciate that. Sharing is important. Yeah.
Right. How about you?
I think for me, it's about reframing. I'm really proud that I'm reframing my past and retelling my story and honoring, those, what do they call it? The crooked roads.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all of the crooked roads have led me here. And from here, my perspective is so much more advanced in terms of like what I know to be true, the grace that I have for other people, the forgiveness that I've been able to experience and to share with others. And the parent, the wife, the person that I am today is all because of those broken roads. And so like Maya Angelou said, I wouldn't take nothing from my journey.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. Yeah. So sharing stories is probably like the number one thing that we should always do.
I agree. Sound like we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Well, Mimi, you have really touched upon everything. And we're so thankful for you. Mm-hmm. Before we close out, I want to hear more about the travel because you recently went to Paris, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, man. It was so beautiful. So the reason why I went to Paris is I needed a change of environment because I was stuck in a dark place. I was stuck in a dark place. And I was reading a book that was talking about that you have to shake your thoughts and your subconscious. You got to shake anything and everything of what you believe. And so it's like, if you're doing like everything, like, so you have a regular routine, right? And you do it every day, then it's like, you're always going to have them same thoughts, right? Because you're doing the same thing every day. But if you shake it up, then it allows you to, oh, wait, now I got to take something else in, like now you can't take in the old stuff, what you had, because now you're seeing something new and different. You're experiencing something new and different. So now it's like, it's allowing you to grow as a person. And so traveling to Paris, I felt like it gave me insight on the world. as like to see like how other people are living. And not just that, but to see, it allowed me to see who I am as a person and how worthy I am as a person, and how it's important for me to still be here and not like want to just leave this earth, but to actually still be here. And so to be able to see something like the Eiffel Tower in person and only have ever seen it in books and pictures, but to actually see it in person. When I saw it, I was like, hello, my name is Mishalene Cusseaux. You know, like I spoke to it. I said, hi, I introduced myself. And it just, I picked up this great energy from it because of the fact that just to know a little history of it, to know somebody built it just for a day and they was going to take it down, but they continued to keep it. And so it just allowed me to just like focus on myself and just know that, hey, I can accomplish anything I want to. I can be anywhere I want to. Why do I need to have this anxiety? Because I had anxiety prepping for this trip, the what ifs of like not knowing the language, COVID, just all these different experiences that I was feeling. But when I arrived, it was just, I was at peace. I was at peace. I did not want to come back the same person after when I left Paris. I was like, no, I'm not going to be the same Mimi. I'm going to be Mishalene, you know? So now I'm using more of the name that my mother gave me, Mishalene, more because I was like, no, this is the person that you've closed off for so long. So now you have to be Mishalene, and you can still be AKA Mimi, but you need to be who you are supposed to be. I'm sorry.
It sounds like you rededicated yourself to life.
I did. Because not too many people travel. Not too many people get out. Not too many people just relax and just see things, you know, relax. Like people be like, what is relax? My other best friend, she'd be like, I don't know what that is. You know, what's relax? So I wanted to make a change, and it started with Paris. And Paris is a beautiful place. The people were beautiful. The food was amazing. I mean, the food is definitely not like America. You know, it's just different. It's like very clean. And so I just wanted to, traveling is good. So I think people need to do more of it. Yeah.
Congratulations to you. I mean, that's like the best revelation. And it really feels like you saw your light.
Yeah.
That's our show for today. When I tell you that Mimi has given us so many gems, boss ladies. So I'm just going to give you a few of the gems that she shared with us today. And we'll also share her contact information so that you'll be able to contact her and tune into more of her wisdom and her beautiful heart. Controlling your mind is the first step to honoring your resilience and leading yourself in the best direction. Your mental health matters. Give yourself permission to be who you really are. Remove the labels and honor the miracles in your life. Having faith in God means believing in the impossible until it becomes your reality. Be brave. Tune out the noise. At the end of the day, you have nothing to lose. And finally, you can never run away from your true passion. No matter what, go after it. So Mimi, tell us how we can keep in touch with you.
You can follow me at mimicusseaux, Mimicusseaux, and that's Mimi Cusseaux, and that's on Instagram. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, which I'm rarely ever on Twitter, but you can follow me on Twitter, is What's Next Mimi.
Fantastic. Well, we hope you enjoyed connecting with the fabulous Mimi today and learning more about how you can manifest your dreams. Thanks again. We appreciate you so much. And please come back and visit us soon.
I will. And thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Our pleasure.
If you haven't already done so, please follow us on Spotify and iHeartRadio.
And you'll be notified whenever we post a new Boss Lady Conversation episode.
You are who you say you are.
You're destined for great things. Your life matters each and every day.
Now go get your blessings, boss ladies.